Hi everyone, today we're going to break down all the Easter eggs and endings in the demo of the new hit No, I'm Not a Human. A big update has been released for the demo version, brought many new guests and Easter eggs. Today we'll compare the changes, check out the new secrets, and yes, the full version of the game is coming this fall. But first, let's go over a bit of the backstory. The story of this game is simply amazing. You're sitting in an apartment while a natural anomaly, something like a solar flare, occurs outside, making it incredibly hot. Along with this, cannibals begin to appear among people looking exactly like humans, and their goal is to get into your home. The game is very reminiscent of Papers, Please, and your job is to identify the creepy monsters trying to break into your apartment. Yes, just like the one standing right outside my window. Every day you wake up and receive a news report on how to identify such creatures. On the first day you learn that these monsters have white teeth, very white. On the second that they have dirt under their nails since they crawl out from underground. On the third day you discover that their eyes turn red, and on the fourth you're told that if you take a picture of them, they appear very blurry. Now about the gameplay, you approach the door, chat a bit with the people who show up, and decide whether or not to let them in for shelter. In your free time, you check to make sure they aren't monsters by examining their teeth, feet, and other things you're advised to check on TV. For example, after letting in one monster, I started finding bags of remains all over the apartment. That's when I realized it was time to shoot that bastard. Yes, a shotgun will be your ally in this game. As always, I'm Puzzle, and let's dive into the Easter eggs. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to do so. Let's start with the new guests. The first one is an injured man who doesn't want to go home so that his kids don't see what happened to him. He looks really creepy, but it feels like he might not be a visitor. Also now, if you kill a visitor, you can briefly see a jump scare, most likely their real form. It seems like we'll see a lot more of them in the full game. The second guest is a shady character with sharp teeth and claws. He clearly has serious anger issues, and you'll definitely notice his bizarre behavior more than once. Some of the old guests have changed as well. Remember that guy in the shirt you could spot through the peephole? Well now, he's almost impossible to see. He's grown significantly, both in height and presence. There are other familiar faces too, for example, the character wearing an Among Us tank top, hinting he's actually a visitor, not a human. Last time, he was a total scammer, but his dialogue was different. This man also mocks all internet coaches who promise quick success. In the new version, this idiot tries to get you into sports betting, bragging about how much money he's made. Of course, he's clearly lying and exaggerating. And yeah, I should have known better than to let him in, especially with that Among Us branded shirt basically screaming visitor, but I let him in. And I lost one of the coolest new characters, the fortune teller. After that, my conversation with that betting freak was very short. Speaking of the fortune teller, she may look suspicious, but she actually gives you useful tips. And now, inside the fridge where she sits, there's a new secret. A fly lives there, and you can kill it. Interestingly, the fly has its own pop-up menu with 3 mysterious question mark options. Either the devs are teasing a secret, or this will be expanded in the full game. Speaking of the full version, it looks like we'll get a phone feature allowing us to call neighbors and check if they're actually human. You can already find the phone in the hallway by the door. If you interact with it, you'll unlock an achievement and see a funny message saying all phone lines are down in the area and will only be fixed in the fall, a clear hint at the game's release window. But let's take a look at the real freak introduced in the new demo. A legless man pretending to be a woman, searching for his boyfriend. I really wanted to take him down, at least for that creepy smile and weird appearance, not to mention the hat worn over a scarf on his head, truly bizarre. But apparently, and yes it is a he's actually a kind character. According to his story, he's looking for a guy who used to be a miner in the mountains, and now has birds nesting in his butt. Yep. These are the kind of guests I have in my home in this game. And yes, I checked this idiot's armpits and he was very pleased about it. A total pervert I'd never want in my house, especially post-apocalypse. The game also introduces a new device, the radio. Now you can tune into different stations and get additional info about the guests. Super helpful if you're unsure about someone. And by the way, you can even hear a beer ad for Boba Cernia, the same beer that's in your fridge. If you remember, that brand is tied to the guy from the start of the game, your neighbor who eventually got killed. Also, if you let certain new female guests into your home, grandma won't want to stay. And of course, the endings in the new demo are more or less the same, just executed differently with a bit more style. But what did change and improve is the outro scene. After that, we'll discuss some of the original endings that were already in the game and at another moment, you might unexpectedly see the ghost of your grandmother if you kill her in this game, so please take care of her. One day you'll see children and then their body, and nearby a naked, skinny man who is obviously a visitor. That's what they call the monsters in this game. Later, he'll come to you and ask, "Are you home alone?" In this game, you should never tell visitors you're alone or they'll just kill you. And yes, that's one of the endings. If during the dialogue with this suspicious man you admit you're alone, he'll take you with him. But beware, that's the bad ending. After all, a good person likely wouldn't look like that. Later on one of the days, you'll notice that the home of the father and daughter who were standing in place on the first day is being searched by FEMA agents who are fighting monsters and trying to conduct tests, search for them, and research them. It might seem like a great day. No more corpses or monsters near your house, just FEMA agents. But the next day, they're all killed and the father and daughter's house is burned to the ground. By the way, the daughter will come to you seeking shelter afterward, but can you trust her? Just like the FEMA agents who will also come to you and take away some of the residents you let in. Who they are and what's really happening here, we'll only find out in the full version of the game. For now, let's move on to another ending. Unfortunately, all the endings in this game are text-based, and I hope the developers will add scenes or scary cutscenes after the release. For now, I'll explain it in words. If you start distrusting everyone you let in and kill them all, you'll be kicked out of your home by the residents you invited, and as the text says, you'll just burn under the anomalous sun outside, and yes, that's a bad ending. One of the endings happens if you simply survive all the days in the demo and stay with a few guests. In this ending, you barricade yourself in your home and die praying for salvation. Another ending is for speedrunners. Yes, they made a speedrunner ending for those who skip all the dialogues quickly and don't look out the window. If you finish the demo very fast, the game will end and your guests will tell you that you're rushing through life too much even though there's nowhere to hurry. It's almost the end of the world outside. You need to slow down and enjoy life a bit. There's also another, perhaps the best ending in the game. Throughout the game, different people will come to you, some of whom are very suspicious. Someone might even bring an injured boyfriend who will end up rotting in the bathroom. But if you correctly identify all the guests and let only real people into your house, not monsters, the game will tell you that you've barricaded all the windows and doors, and despite managing all the challenges, the Earth is no longer safe to live on. Although all your guests are human, you'll remain in your house until the end of your days. As you can see, all the endings are quite sad and creepy, but the game itself is fantastic, and the small but interesting Easter eggs we found in this episode make it even better. I can't wait for the full version of this game. It really reminds me of Papers, Please. Plus, it's being developed by just a few people, and they clearly need support. So, I highly recommend you play it yourself. It's an incredible game, and of course, I'd love for you to leave any comment to support my channel. For small channels like mine, your engagement is really important. And yes, the full game is coming this fall, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they have. What about you folks? Did you enjoy the new demo? The graphics are clearly improved with new lighting effects from the windows plus added devices, and I feel like the guests have gotten even more insane. What do you think? Let me know in the comments.